Hello, I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic, and in this video let's explore what to expect from taking photos with the Xiaomi 14. We'll take a quick look together at about 200 test photos taken in many places across Europe, from Prague to the historic towns of Estonia, national parks of Latvia, and the sandy beaches of Lithuania. What you will see in this video. First, we will summarize the main technical specifications of this mobile phone and what lenses, sensors and key settings it has. And then we'll dive into the 200 or so photos from different places and countries to see what the Xiaomi 14 can offer. So, Xiaomi 14 has 3 lenses and sensors on the backside and 1 on the front side. The most important, of course, would be the main lens, main sensor, which have 23mm and 50 megapixels. And as you can see from these examples, that would really be the most important tool for you to get the greatest possible photos. And again, from these examples, I think one thing becomes clear, and it is that if you are lucky like me to have that beautiful weather in Baltic states, the result just definitely will not disappoint you. Of course, I'm using not only the wide angle, like here, 23mm, but I'm also zooming up to 3. When we hit 3, then it will turn to the telezoom, where we get in a couple of seconds. So these are all shots from the main sensor, main lens. Then we have the telezoom. It has 75mm, and as you can see from these examples, obviously we would be using it to zoom to things which are in distance, like here in Prague, or of course it can be used for some details or simply for zooming in various situations. And of course, one of the key missions of pretty much any telezoom of that sort would be that it will be used for portraits, like here. I use portrait mode for that lovely dog or photos like that. And then there is the third lens, and please do not underestimate it, as many people do. It's the ultra wide, and I really like it. And as you can see from these examples, it's really important to master and to use it, because in many situations it's really important for shots like that where you're able to squeeze a lot of space in that, and it's really handy, as we'll see in a couple of minutes. Then there are some settings which should be noted. The first one is that anytime you shoot, you have to decide whether you'll be using so-called style, and it's either vibrant, like here, or authentic. You can spot the difference. The vibrant, as the name suggests, has somehow more intensive, more vivid colors, whereas authentic is like more faded. Personally, I prefer the vibrant, so 95% of all shots in that review were shot with a vibrant. But, of course, it's up to you. Then you have many options, many filters made by Leica, or Leica if you want the other pronunciation. And I'm always a little bit suspicious about these things because I do not really like filters, but you should definitely try it. Of course, there are many settings, but I'd just like to touch on 2 of them. One is the option to shoot into 50 megapixels. I mean the full resolution of the sensor. And under certain circumstances, it certainly makes sense because there are many details that shots like that can capture. And of course, you might have spotted that I am able to turn on something called RAW, full unedited file from the sensor. One more brief comment. Of course, we can't avoid comparing Xiaomi 14 to its more advanced sister or brother, whatever you want. It means Xiaomi 14 Ultra. I have really very detailed videos about that, so I suggest you might watch it. But at this point, let me just say one important thing. Xiaomi 14 is a different mobile phone because the specifications of sensors and lenses are different. So you are not getting a lighter version of Xiaomi 14 Ultra. That's, I think, quite important to note. And as always, let me just test zooming capabilities of this mobile phone. As you can see from these screen recordings, we can go up to 3,2 with the optical zoom. Well, we can go from ultra wide through 1 and 2 up to 10 or even 60. It's a really very deep digital zoom, so do not expect any miracles. So that would be the ultra wide, and we go through 1, 2, up to 10, which is here. And if you really want to get closer, well, this is the result, which is not that bad as you might have expected. So from that distance, we can go up here. Not bad at all, I think. And now, please join me for a long journey through many countries. And let's start here in Prague. This is actually in winter, when I just had a very short option to test it for a couple of hours, basically. What is important to note is that one of the really strong features of Xiaomi 14 is the night mode. And from these shots from night in Prague, you can get an impression what to expect. And this is again February, the middle of winter. I think that even though there are not many greenery around, you can still get very decent shots like from here or here. Now let's move a couple of months ahead, and this is summer. Let me go through these 200 photos and give you some impressions and feelings. Sometimes people are, well, telling me, please do not rush that much, do not cover that many shots. I would like to have a chance to see it in for many seconds. Yes, I understand it, and I apologize for me being really quick. But the reason is that my aim is just to give you opportunity to get as many examples in a reasonably short time frame. Because what really matters, you can see that I can zoom up to that amazing puppet in the window, and the results are not bad. But back to my rapidity, I'm just trying to show you really a huge sample of photos. Because as any photographer would tell you, what really matters is what happens if you take your camera or mobile phone and you just run through a town or forest or simply your holiday destination, and you just want to have a good and stable results. And that's why I just want you to get the same impressions from what I do right now. By the way, that is test of what portrait mode does, and we didn't test it on people, we tested on this lovely dog, and well, I was quite surprised how well it went. Some more examples from southern Bohemia, some details, some colors, once again the portrait mode. This time I use it in the cafe just to give you some impression how it works. Let's touch in these two shots Austria, the most southern point of our trip. And now we've just moved thousands of kilometers to the north, to the Baltic states, where I spent 2 weeks testing this mobile phone. And again, I'll be really moving quickly, because what I want you is to get a global feeling, global impression. And of course, I was very lucky, and if you are experienced photographers, you of course understand well that, well, you might have even the greatest camera or mobile phone, but at the end of the day, it really depends on when you are lucky with the light and beautiful views. So I was lucky, and I quite like this. This is Latvia, a national park, and a beautiful camping site. And well, you can see again what I already mentioned. Please do not underestimate the ultra-wide lens. This is the result you can get, and it's, I think, quite impressive. And some more examples of typical quick travel shots like here. Some more examples and one shot of this little Scandinavian house in the beautiful nature. Let's move further. Let's enjoy the feeling of space and amazing nature here in Latvia. Or if you are tired from walking, we can just jump to seaside, to this lovely port. And again, very, very impressive results. In these cases, you might say that the colors are maybe too bright, and you might be right. And that in these specific conditions, I might try to reduce the brightness of the colors, and I might turn on authentic style. But for the sake of consistency, I'm shooting all that in the vibrant style, and you can see it here. Some details, and I hope you won't be too offended if I just show you these rather kitschy shots and ultra-wide and detail of a church in Latvia. And of course, we are traveling, so what travel would it be if we do not include some details of food? And I really loved food in Baltic states, so I definitely suggest if you go there, just do invest a lot of energy into tasting all these lovely things, and your camera or your mobile phone would really help you. And these ladies I was testing portrait mode on them, and they're really very kind, very nice. Thanks for allowing me to take the shots, and their fish was just amazing, I have to say. Some more colors of seashore in not so exciting light, and it's quite important to know that even if the light was not sunny and the colors were not bright, that the mobile phone was able to cope with it. And if you see these shots, well, again, the simply most important assessment of that mobile phone would be that if you want to have a tool which will deliver you very consistent results, you just will not be disappointed. And I think it's quite important to know that indeed Xiaomi 14 is one of these flagships. It's not the highest tier, of course. It's not Xiaomi 14 Ultra, but still, if you do not need some extreme specifications, like zooming to very long distances, etc., you won't be disappointed. And the Xiaomi 14 just will give you power to get a really broad range of shots. Of course, if you are not lucky and the weather is not good, even the greatest mobile phone or camera won't help you. So this is Riga, amazing capital of Latvia, whereas if I moved up north to Tallinn, to capital city of Estonia, the weather was much better, so the results were, of course, much nicer. And again, combination of ultra wide and these more detailed shots. Here I was trying to test zooming towards birds. You can see at certain point, well, the results are not that exciting, but again, well, it's not as bad as I was worried about. So you can, to a certain extent, you should not be afraid to zoom. Some more details from Tallinn, which again, of course, is amazing city, and rather kitschy colors of evening in the capital of Estonia. And once more, let's venture again to the beautiful plains of Baltic states, and a lot of colors, a lot of blue, a lot of yellow, and I was really surprised how well it all went. These are, of course, the shots from the ultra wide, and you should not be afraid to use it quite often. And details and ultra wide as well again. Some more examples of very tough light. This is in Estonia, just after storm, after huge rain. This is quite interesting, but yellow light and a lot of contrast, a lot of shadows, but you can see that the mobile phone was able to cope with it. And I quite like these shots. I quite like the atmosphere, which is just engraved into the shots. And again, you will not be disappointed. That's the key point. And let's say goodbye to the Baltic states here in the seashore, and again in these amazing national parks with these beautiful houses in the middle of beautiful nature, flowers, details, and rather kitschy shots of sunset like here. I typically do not take shots like this, but I just couldn't have resisted in that case. So this is the end of our trip through the Baltic states. And now let me give you a couple of examples of video clips recorded with Xiaomi 14. And I have to apologize because I'm really confident when talking about photos, what we've just done for a pretty long time. But when we get to videos, I'm just really not that much confident when comparing different mobile phones and different specifications. So what I am doing right now is that I'm just giving you chance to see some examples and make your own opinion about that. And all these shots were recorded with 4K, and as I'd already mentioned, the mobile phone is capable to shoot up to 8K, but I don't really think it's worth trying at that stage. So these are video examples. So thank you so much for your attention. I hope I gave you some inspiration, and take care. I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic.